Team FX Primus Aliso is at the Shanghai International Circuit, the second Chinese circuit in the season, and what a beautiful sight they were given. Lamborghini Squadra Corsa brought with them 2015 Lamborghini Super Trofeos Huracan. It was an early start to the day for the team the next morning, as they got ready for the first official practice session. But not all was well with the car.
After 200, the car vibrated so much and I couldn't continue.
And it was a bit of a nightmare because we had a broken floor plank.
The team had set out to immediately replace the cracked floor plank. They wanted to make sure that the new undercarriage is indeed the answer to the vibration issue.
There are many aerodynamics aid on this Lamborghini Super Trofeo race car. There's a front splitter here. This front splitter actually creates front downforce by changing the speed of the air from underneath the car and to the top of the car. As the airspeed increases at the bottom, you get a low pressure under the car that provides the car with front and downforce. What you see here are car nuts or dive plates, and these are adjustable at angles. These basically are used to deflect air away from the front fender as well as the wheel well arch, right? When you pull air out of this area, you create a low air pressure under this area. That creates downforce as well. The bottom of the Lamborghini Super Trofeo race car is technically flat, right? And as air travels under the car, it moves under this flat surface, which reduces a lot of drag, where to keep the airspeed constant under the car. And this basically provides you with a good flow and overall downforce throughout the whole car. This air that travels under the car will eventually meet with the rear diffuser. This is the rear diffuser. And the rear diffuser is basically the diffuse air or pull air from the front end of the car right out through the back, right? And you have gates that you can see here. These gates are to keep the air from going into a turbulence, so that it's always smooth traveling under the car and out through the back. Okay, as we move up from the bottom, you see this rear wing, right? And this rear wing is basically found on most GT race cars. This rear wing is basically similar to what you see on airplanes. It's just that it's inverted. In an airplane, the wing actually lifts the plane, but in a race car, we want it to push the car down to the ground, creating more traction and grip around the circuit. Right? On this rear wing, what you can find is 11 points of adjustment, so that we can fine-tune the balance of the race car and the amount of grip that you can find on the car from front to back.
The team ended Friday's practice session on a good note, setting the fastest time of the day. Early the next morning, as the drivers made their way to the circuit, the crew were already hard at work, making all the final preps for the car for the qualifying session. Once again, Sarah strapped Afiq in for the first qualifying stint. The car and the setup looks good out on the track. Afiq had a good session, one that was not impeded by traffic, allowing him a good result. Once again, it was great to see the team lining up on pole position at the start of the race. Afiq led the pack for a warm-up lap. Once on the main straight, and as soon as the lights turned green, Afiq was immediately bunched. He found it hard to maintain the lead and was eventually passed. Although he lost the lead, Afiq stayed close to the Japanese driver in car number 11. There was action behind him when car number 24 misjudged the turn and took out car number 1, narrowly missing Afiq. Then as Afiq caught up and pressured the lead car, he found a gap at the corner near the parabolica, staying close and taking the lead with an immensely last-minute braking maneuver. Then it was time to come in for the driver change.
As I came around just before the first lap down the fastest part of the circuit, which is the back straight, we normally do about 297 kilometers, but at 250 my steering wheel came off, literally came off, and I was holding it with shock. And as quickly as possible, I managed to slot the steering back. But thanks to the crew that, the car was so well set up and the car was just traveling on a straight line. I heard from the radio, from my team manager, he keeps saying, push, push, push. Do not let anyone pass. And from that point, I just put my head down and just keep driving.
Day 2 started out with another day of packed stands at the Shanghai circuit. The team will be lining up in the middle of the pack, and will have a lot to catch up on right from the start.
I started the race from P9 and I had a pretty good start. From P9 I went all the way as high to P5.
At the age, I used all the rubbers that Zen reserved for me.
Zen's hard push at the start while reserving tyres for Afiq, combined with Afiq's great overtaking from 7th, gave Team FX Primus Alizo one of the best podiums of the season so far.
The boys did a good job, everyone is happy, so we are heading home tonight and I'm looking forward to go home. So next round is in Malaysia.